Hi, my name is Nishad Ramachandran and I work at Hansas Equity. We are a customer marketing company and we focus really on trying to understand people and their relationship with brands, their behaviors with products and services. We currently host about 80 million customers in our database for some of the leading brands in the country, and I specifically run a group called the Digital Experience Group, where we kind of do a lot of digital marketing work, large scale campaigns, one-to-one marketing campaigns in the space of email, SMS, push marketing, app-based marketing, video, content-driven marketing, social media marketing. That's really the area of business that I focus on. I have a team of about 25 people who are designers, storytellers, UI UX guys. At Hansas Equity, our focus is really on people, how they do what they do, what drives them, what motivates them, how deeply are their engagements with brands, what connections they make with the brand across multiple channels. Today, there are transaction driven channels which are like, I walk into a store and I make a purchase and I leave an email ID kind of thing. I may also go out and like a brand or kind of follow a brand on Twitter, like a brand on Facebook. So, my relationship with that brand is far deeper. I may also talk about that brand, I may kind of subscribe to that brand on YouTube. So really kind of trying to map out how people engage one-to-one with brands. What is the relationship they have with the brand, how they interact with the brand. For instance, if we send them an email, do they open it? If we put out a Facebook post, do they like it and share it? So we try to understand customers and how they interact with brands and companies, and use that knowledge really to kind of go back and target more people and try to find like-minded people. So in this connection, we do a lot of one-to-one marketing work using new networks like Facebook and Twitter. And what we've been finding is that I've been, in this business for about 8-10 years now, this one-to-one marketing business, and Facebook and Twitter, the darlings of a lot of brand managers, CMOs, marketing organizations. What we found was that around 2008, 2009, there was this huge a rush to go out and build large networks. So, companies claiming that they've got 1 million fans, 5 million fans, some of them 10 and 15 million fans, and that used to be seen as some sort of a feather in the cap in the brands. But over a period of time, what has really happened is that Facebook has become very money minded. They've got their IPOs going and things like that, because of which I think Facebook also decided that since there are so many brands out there and getting free publicity on Facebook, what they realized was that there was a need to kind of clamp down on the virality of the posts that brands make. So from once upon a time when I started, brands used to get 25-30% of their networks or their groups to see a brand communication. To today, it's come down to some mere 1% or possibly less than 1% of people actually seeing a brand's post. I think the question historically, at least in my experience, brands have been asking, marketing managers have been asking, CEOs have been asking that, okay, I've got 5 million customers on Facebook. What do I do with them? What can I kind of do to kind of see that my business gets better? So the answers from the agencies used to be that no, you can actually talk to people, you can share your posts, you can talk about your brand and things like that. Today, when the virality of Facebook, the noise levels on Twitter have really exponentially increased, I think the question is that what's the point in all this? Because I've gone out and spent a lot of money trying to attract people. I've run contests, I've paid Facebook for likes and all of that, and I don't know if enough people are seeing my posts and my Facebook, my Twitter, conversations. So then the question is that what do marketers do? What do companies do? So at Equity, I think one of the things that we discovered quite early on for the last 3-4 years we've been doing is one-to-one targeting using Facebook and Twitter. I think these platforms have really become wonderfully sort of optimized. There are incredible amount of behavioral targeting options that are available. So there is a person who's just got engaged and possibly thinking about getting married, and if there is a a home kind of a store which is into, say, a home store, then what these brands can do is really target only people who are kind of in the process of setting up a home. Maybe they're getting married, and therefore there is an opportunity for a brand to kind of go out and engage specifically with that. This kind of knowledge is not available anywhere else, in the digital world or even the traditional world, that I can actually identify a group of people who are in the process of setting up a home, for instance. So what we suggest brands do is use features like custom audience, tailored audience, and run social CRM programs. So there is a CRM database where you have captured millions of customers of yours who've shopped in your store. What you can run really is actually put that data back into Facebook, match a large number of them on Facebook, and then use all kinds of behavioral parameters to target to them. You can, even before you do that, you can do some wonderful things like just merely saying that anybody who's a sale shopper, people who come and shop at your store only during the sale, you can actually target them only during the sale using that database, and you can get some good ROIs. We've seen some really exponential sort of revenues that are coming out of these kind of activities. So for instance, for a retailer, for every 1 rupee we've spent, we've seen something like 50 bucks that the brand has been able to get back. Because the interesting thing at C-Equity is that we have the database and the transactions coming into our servers. So we can say that, okay, we targeted these 100 people, how many of them came to the store and shopped, and how much money did this the brand make out of that activity. And we are able to clearly see the ROIs of every activity. Now if I want to take it further, I can say, for instance, there's a bank who's got a mobile app, for instance. I can look at the bank's database and say who are the best prospects for mobile banking in my audience. So I don't want to send out spam messages to everyone. I identify specifically based on their behavior. Are they into online banking? Do they come to the bank branch very often? Do they do activities on the ATM like ordering checkbooks and things like that? So, or they are in a certain age group, they work in a certain company. So there are lots of interesting markers that are there among people that I can use to sort of identify who are my best prospects for mobile banking, and I can start targeting them. So when I go into Facebook then or onto Twitter, then I can target custom ads by the platforms they use. So which is to say that if I have got an iPhone, then I can actually target an ad, an iPhone specific ad at them. I don't put out a generic mobile app ad. I can talk very specifically about the iPhone features only to people who access Facebook using iPhone. So Facebook gives me a filter to reach out to those individuals and do some wonderfully sharp communication. So when we do these kind of activities, we are actually seeing some exponential increase in the engagement levels and the downloads and things like that. In every database, there is a bunch of people, about 50% of people who are registered on DND. They kind of stop you from sending any SMSs to them. So you can identify these 50% DND customers and target them in social media. So people who could not receive any communication from you suddenly start to see your ads without them knowing that these have been targeted specifically at them on their walls. You can measure that, you can do all kinds of interesting things and sort of see the returns coming in, whether you measure it in store, whether you see how many downloads are happening, whether you see transactions happening. All kinds of interesting possibilities are available as far as social CRM work is concerned. The important thing and the security advantage really is that we have these massive databases from clients. There are clients who have got 10, 15, 20 million customers. Banks are large and they have massive 2 crore customers, so which means 20 million people in mobile numbers, email IDs. You can use that to target on Facebook, LinkedIn. Now apparently even Google is opening up. There are other mobile platforms which offer these services. So personally I believe that social CRM is the next wave for CRM and social media. And we believe that Facebook is a super powerful platform. Twitter, again, behavioral targeting on Twitter, super powerful and super useful and highly sort of measurable, because the fact that you have vast data networks. So I think the big question that often brands come to us and ask us that, hey, it's cool that you're talking about retailers and financial services companies who have, who the government mandates or who have historically collected customer information. But I am a toothpaste company, or I sell some health drink or something like that. I'm a FMCG company. I don't have any data. What do I do? What we really tell these brands is that, why don't you look at your Facebook page? There are 4 million, 3 million, 2 million, millions of customers, people who are liking your brand on that. Do you want to bring them into a database? Do you want to do some smart work, to bring them into a database? Shall we help you kind of, move those people? So you've got, say, some interesting soft drink, and you've got sort of 5 million people on your Facebook page. Can you bring them into a database? Can you run promotions and interesting activities and bring them into Facebook? So that then you can start a CRM program, you can start a one-to-one engagement program and use content and use data to kind of engage with these people. Because with modern trade, you can run interesting promotions, and even with online e-commerce stores, you can run some interesting promotions where you give out coupons and vouchers and actually see the impact of these activities and kind of decide what works for you. The last important part, I think, maybe some of the stuff that I'm talking about may not make much sense to many categories. But in true sense, I think the whole spirit of Sequity is to kind of encourage brands to try new experiments, which is to say, let's do some pilots. Let's take a small kind of a project, maybe spend a few lakh rupees and go out and try to engage with people and see whether that's bringing any ROIs. And I can promise you that there are some very large companies who have come to us and tried these kind of little experiments. To their astonishment, they've found that there are some wonderful opportunities that are waiting there. Even if they've not had enough data, even if they've not had a customer-centric strategy in the past, coming and working and understanding the possibilities, using data, using social media, using social CRM, there are wonderful kind of opportunities that are waiting to be explored and exploited. And I would kind of seriously request companies to come and try these kind of experiments with us. Thanks Motley TV for talking to me and kind of letting me spread a good word about social CRM. And every one of you watching this little video of mine should please like or share or subscribe to their channel. I think there will be some wonderful and interesting people who will come and talk to you guys. I've watched a few episodes on this channel and I've been enlightened, and I think I urge you guys to do that. Just click below and subscribe, or copy out this link and share it on Facebook and other places, because this is the future and you guys need to be here.